All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Brooklyn Nets video for you guys. We're going to talk rumors. There's only 5 days left to make free agent signing, so I feel like just doing this for most contending teams. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I do this every single day. I know you guys would like the content. Yesterday, the Brooklyn Nets lost to the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls got their most needed win of the season. But obviously they were without James Harden, Kevin Durant. Hopefully those two will be back shortly. Jeff Green kind of went off. Kyrie had a decent scoring game, great assist game. But they just couldn't get the job done. So you got the Lake Show over in the West. They're kind of struggling as well with all their big three injuries. And there's 4 or 5 days left to make free agent signing. So on April 9th, I don't know if it's midnight or 3 o'clock, but that's when your playoff roster essentially has to be set. So the Brooklyn Nets, I don't personally think that they make any more moves. I think that they're done. Nothing like that goes down. But at the same time, I would not be surprised if something were to happen. I'm not even talking anything crazy. I don't know what would go down if they get rid of Johnson, if they get rid of TLC, if they get rid of somebody a little bit younger. I'm not sure. But there is one specific dude I want to talk about who I think would just be an upgrade. I think this guy is an upgrade over TLC. I think he's an upgrade over Shamet. I think he's an upgrade. I just think this dude is a massive upgrade. So maybe not Shamet, but we're going to talk about my Houston Rocket boy, Ben McLemore. So I actually just made a video a couple of days ago. I want to say it was like Saturday, 2 days ago, talking about Ben McLemore possibly going to the Lakers. And I think that the Lakers are the best fit for Ben. I think it just makes so much sense. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ben makes his way over to the Lakers. But here's the thing. The Nets, it's crazy actually, the Lakers aren't even the favorites in the West anymore. It's the Utah Jazz. So the Lakers really need to make a move like that. In my opinion, the Brooklyn Nets are chilling. I think they've got the roster. They've been banged up all season, right? They're not even at full strength right now. Kevin Durant's not even in. So they're all banged up. I don't think that they need to make any moves. But it's kind of similar to the Andre Drummond situation. I don't think that the Nets needed Andre Drummond, but if they got Andre Drummond, it means the Lakers aren't getting Drummond. If the Nets got LMA, that means the Lakers aren't getting LaMarcus. So that's kind of like the added on W for Nets and for Nets fans when they make any signing in the buyout market or just any signing in general, because they're not going to go to the Lakers, so they're not going to help you lose. So Ben McLemore, let's take a look at him. He's 27 years old. On his career, about 42% three-point shooter, 9 points per game. This guy is extremely, extremely consistent. Sorry, I meant to say he's about a 36 career three-point shooter. He was about a 40-42 three-point shooter in his 2 seasons here in Houston. So he had a much better year last year. I statistically just averaged 10 points per game. So that was like 2.5 more threes, better shooting numbers, just about better everything. Kind of fallen off this year, but there's a lot of things to keep in mind. So in Houston, he played 32 games this season. He actually only averaged less than 17 minutes per game. So he was barely playing. He only got 4 starts. This is all compared to last season where he averaged 23 minutes, played in 71 games, 23 starts. So he got COVID right at the start of the season, and that definitely messed everything up. And then you got to just kind of remember the dysfunctionality going on in Houston this season. When Ben came back from COVID, it was pretty much the end of James Harden's tenure in Houston. So you've got all that drama going on. You had the Russ drama. You have Stephen Silas, a first-year coach. It's tough. It's tough for guys like Ben McLemore. So they decide, buy him out, send him to a contender. And at 27 years old, with playoff experience, this dude is going to do exactly that. He can drain threes. He's an extremely underrated three-point shooter. I mean, last season, he averaged about 6.5 three-point shots per game, draining them at a 40% clip. So this is also something to keep in mind this season with his shooting numbers, because from deep, he's shooting just 33%. He's not with James Harden anymore. He's not with Russell Westbrook anymore. Got to keep in mind, those guys, not only do they help create open shots, but they help gather double teams. Like, they help just gain the other team's attention. So when Russ, Harden, they're out here getting double teamed, it means somebody's going to be wide open on the court, which sometimes it was Ben McLemore. When it was Ben McLemore, he made use of it. And the same thing goes for the Lakers. Like, I know not only can Schroeder, give him open shots, but I know just having LeBron, who not only can do the same, AD, who not only can do the same, but having those guys, they're going to take up so much of the defense's attention, so much of the defense's energy, that you're going to kind of forget about Ben McLemore. And I think this is a guy that the Nets don't necessarily need, because they have Joe Harris. They have spot-up shooters. Like, they have Joe Harris. They've got good three-point shooter. Shamet's a great three-point shooter. TLC is a decent three-point shooter. Johnson's a decent three-point shooter. These guys are decent three-point shooters, and I'm not trying to diss them at all, but I just think Ben McLemore on the Brooklyn Nets would be fucking dope. I think that would be dope. Paired up with his boy James Harden, who would be cooking him up open shots. I think it would be cool. And personally, I think the Brooklyn Nets are done making, especially anything relatively big, like any breaking news story. We're not talking anything like that. I think we're going to talk more Lee's, Johnson's. But the thing is, who knows? Who knows? Who would have thought they would have had this big three? They go out, they get Blake Griffin, they go out, they get LaMarcus Aldridge. Like, this year's been insane. So I have no idea what the Brooklyn Nets do, but I'm very curious if you guys think that they make any moves, or if you think that they're just going to stay put, because they've made plenty of moves. So we'll see. We'll see. I still got Lakers in probably 6 right now, just because the fact they have LeBron James. I know Kevin Durant will be healthy, though. A healthy Kevin Durant's a different story. We're honestly kind of having a different story, especially if the Lakers are banged up and the Nets aren't. But that goes for any team. So it's kind of early to start speculation. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you did. I do this every day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.